Welcome back, beautiful people. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. I am your host, Zen Sams, live from Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. Now, AC is in a travel boom. As summer rolled in and the vaccine rolled out, people were and still are looking for that next easily accessible destination. And well, they found it right here. Lloyd Levinson Institute of Gaming, Hospitality, and Tourism surveyed more than 800 people recently to gauge their attitudes on Atlantic City. And the poll found very strong enthusiasm for returning lovers of the world's playground. Now, I always stay right here at Ocean Casino Resort. Definitely my favorite place in AC by far. Not crazy like the rest. Tons of celebrity sightings and filled with attractions within and around the property. Now, Ocean Casino not long ago announced a $15 million renovation investment, as did many AC casinos. This spending spree is definitely a positive sign, guys. Revenues are trending upward, and about 170 events are booked in the city throughout 2025. Remember, we've barely made it into 2022. Now, record-setting bets on sports and online games have helped cushion the financial blow that was onset by COVID-19. And the state reported that the casino's gross operating profit soared in the first quarter of this year alone to more than 95 million. Okay, so into perspective, let me gauge this for you. That's triple what it was during the first quarter of 2020. Now, not in every casino do you find an awesome nightclub. And when you do find that hot spot, well, start to think about it. How does music make you feel? Are you inspired? Do you feel happy, contemplative? Well, whatever the feeling, it's definitely based on emotion. Now, music has an impact on our mood, our memory performance, and well-being. And who hasn't found it easier to run a little further or work a little faster to keep up with the tempo of the music we're listening to? All that jumping around and moving to music that we call dance boosts our level of alertness, the release of endorphins, and helps burn off stress. Now, up next, we have Ocean Casino Resort's very own Manny Ferreros, who is Director of Nightlife and Daylife Operations at HQ2, who is also known as DJ Manolo. Welcome to the show, superstar.
How are you? Thank you for having me.
This is such a pleasure to have you because you are the epitome of everything I've always wanted. You have a career in nightlife, music, people, and really making everyone around you feel good. Now, your career spans 3 decades, and your passion for club culture led you to open your very own record store called Sound Factory, if I'm not mistaken, a recording studio, which was Noise Floor, and a DJ school. Tell us about your passion for music and how it has helped shape your career.
So I was always into music as a young teenager, even before that, and I started playing the saxophone, and then I went to my first teen dance, and I, saw someone behind, in a DJ booth just playing records, and I looked at the turntable as an instrument, and from then on I was hooked. That you could have so much power to be able to control, a dance floor by just playing a specific song. And from then I just never looked back. I was really anything that I could do to learn something new and to network. I just jumped on it, and music has always been my mistress, if you will.
Ooh, I love that. Music is my mistress. That is a quote, Manny. That's a quote right there. Now, listen, you were also instrumental in the success of the very famous The Pool After Dark at Harrah's Casino. And in 2008 is when you were tasked with reopening HQ nightclub and beach club here at the Ocean Casino Resort. And you assembled a world-class nightlife team. And you basically turned HQ into the #1 club in Atlantic City in the market, attracting top acts like Stephen Aoki just last week, Sick Duo, Jonathan Peters this week, and basically selling out every weekend with top acts. Tell me, how do you go about booking these celebrity DJs, and are they your friends?
So some of them, yes, and I think in anything you do, it comes down to just having a network of people. And over the last 3 decades of my life, I was fortunate enough to have met a lot of different people that were just like myself, starting out, and then you develop those relationships into true friendships. And anytime I go into a new market or a new project, I always call on the people that have always been by my side. And people have been very supportive, because I think, beyond money, especially a lot of these larger artists now, it goes beyond money. I think that it makes them feel more comfortable if they go somewhere where they know somebody and they have a relationship, and most importantly, if they feel well looked after. And that their level of professionalism is going to be met, then it makes them feel comfortable. And I think that that's part of the reason why we've been able to get here and attract such talent.
Wow, you have a lot that you are managing, and I say wow a lot during this interview because you are quite impressive. The club you manage is quite impressive. Your relationships are quite impressive. Now, as a DJ, you're also a DJ, so you know where you're coming from. You know what moves people. This is your wheelhouse, right? So now you're in a position of power, which is great. But as a DJ, you're exposed to all kinds of libations and party favors, so to speak. I remember doing a whole piece for Fox News 10 years ago on rocking female DJs, and I interviewed DJ Beverly Bond and DJ Jackie Christie, and I shadowed them from one night, and I was blown away. She just kept going on like an Energizer bunny, like 10 drinks in. Does the alcohol help or not? And are you of the DJ culture where the music actually helps you get more creative?
So for me, personally, to me, the music is what really moves me. Music has that power. I feel that I've used this before. That I feel that music is that universal language that everybody understands. Doesn't matter what background you have, where you come from. You could hear a piece of music, and you could be in two different parts of the world, and that piece of music can speak to you in the same way. So I don't judge, whatever people want to do to have a good time, it's up to them as adults. Me personally, I always did like to have a drink prior to me playing, just to unwind a little bit. Sometimes when you walk out behind a DJ booth or a stage and you have a few thousand people looking at you, it can be a little bit nerve-wracking. So to me, I would always like to have a drink before I would play. But I mean, once you get into the flow of things, me personally, I would always feed off of the energy of the people that you're playing for. And one song, you could take people into a direction to really shift the mood in the room. And that to me was very powerful. So that in and of itself was what gave me that drive to be able to push and pull, if you will, in those emotions and really get a reaction out of people.
Oh, I love that. And I love that you're honest about that, because a lot of DJs, I mean, you're managing an entire nightclub here at Ocean Casino Resort, and I mean, you are catering to not only day life and nightlife, but to celebrities and to very demanding guests. And you have a way with people. You do it so effectively well, really. I mean, HQ2 is very well known for the prime service that you guys offer. But more importantly, you are booking celebrity after celebrity DJs. Now, we did discuss if these are your friends or not, but tell me what your average week looks like to get these DJs confirmed and to really bring them here so we can all experience the beautiful, nightlife that you've created here.
So it's a balancing act. A lot of people, unfortunately, all they see is the party. And to be honest, the party's the easy part, right? Because then that's just execution. What the real work, in my opinion, takes place behind the scenes. And what I mean by that is that, DJs don't just land at the beach club, or HQ2 nightclub. It's a balancing act of talking to industry peers. And, when people ask or mention success, success is achieved if you have a great team. This is something that's done because I'm surrounded by a great group of people, not only from up top, and also externally, but also internally. But what happens a lot is let's say that I want to, book someone like an Aoki or a Tiesto. Well, it starts with a conversation, but then you also speak to other industry peers. Let's say, hey, what are you doing in DC? What are you doing in Miami? How can we route the same act? So if I want him in Atlantic City, City, maybe you can do them in DC, and then we can route them either to Boston or to Miami. So that's how a lot of these things work, because when you're looking at, the top 5% talent in the world, these guys don't have open dates. Their weekends are booked, and they're not booked last week. They're booked 6 to 9 months in advance. So it's because of that network that we've developed that we're able to do some of these things.
Well, that's just wonderful, because I guess your relationships from working in this industry for 3 decades and putting all of these pieces together, you're finally at a place in your life where you could just pick up the phone, I guess, and make these relationships happen and bring them to the nightclub here at Ocean. But that is not something that's a given. And I guess that's why you are, my friend, in the position that you are, running what you're running. Now, walk us through the day portion of your career. So the nightclub, we know what that's about. We know that, HQ2 is very well known for these celebrity DJs and acts that you book. But tell us about the day club and the beach club in under 2 minutes, Manny.
So the beach club is only open Memorial Day weekend through Labor Day, and it's open typically just Saturday and Sunday. We're open about 6 hours, and it's a monster. When that beach club really cranks, and it's all weather driven. So, but I will say that we've also had some amazing parties in the rain. When you're that age, really, you just want to live. And people come out, and we've had some incredible parties. In Tiesto this past weekend at the beach club, we had a hurricane about 200 miles off the coast, and people were just in that pool splashing, and it was quite something. Sometimes I take a step back and just kind of take it all in, and really see what was able to be pulled off. And it's really special. I mean, this is an amazing property. Very thankful to be here, and very thankful that people trust me to make decisions that have this sort of impact. Just very excited and looking forward to next season.
That's incredible. Your season is not as short as one would think, because I know that personally. I've come here way past Labor Day, and it's still moving as if it was the hardest summer. And that's because you guys take so much pride in the way that you care for your facility, where it does have this year-round feel, despite the amenities being seasonal. But in general, you've done a great job, Manny. Thank you so much for coming on the show. It was truly a pleasure speaking to you.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Without a doubt. Guys, you are listening to A Moment of Zen. I'm live at Ocean Casino Resort. That was Manny Ferreros, Director of Nightlife and Daylife Operations at HQ2. He's also known as DJ Manolo. You guys definitely have to check out their facilities. The nightclub is rocking. Definitely check it out at oceanac.com and look for HQ2 in the tab. I will be right back after this. You're listening to Zen Sam's. I am your host right here on 710 WR, the voice of New York. We'll be right back after this.